Hey BookTube, it's Shelly and welcome back to my channel. I am so glad you are here to catch another episode of What's Cheering Me Up Right Now. Yay! If you don't know what a What's Cheering Me Up Right Now video is, then this video series was started by Hannah Louise Poston. She is a beauty YouTuber and she talks a lot about conscious consumerism and what we are buying and bringing into our lives. And she does these videos about what's cheering her up right now. And often it's things that have been in her life for a long time, or they're not necessarily the new things on the market. And I wanted to follow that lead and to focus on things that are cheering me up right now. Also, Gina Stanier Books, does this type of video, and I have created a playlist. So if you do this type of video, please add it to the playlist, community playlist that I created. That would be so much fun if we could grow this idea and more people did what's cheering me up right now videos. Okay, so without further ado, let's jump right in. I'm like looking at my list. The first thing that is cheering me up right now is the weather. Yep, the weather. So right now I am visiting California. I was born and raised in California, but I have been living in South Carolina for over a decade. And South Carolina summers are very different than California summers. Both are very hot, but in South Carolina it is 80 degrees at 100% humidity or at 90% humidity all day long and all night long, and it's not raining, you know. So it's very hot, very sticky, very humid. Where I live, in Stockton in the Central Valley, there's the Delta Waterway, which gives a really beautiful breeze during the day and at night, and it cools off at night. So that is very different from the last 11 years of my life, the summers of my last 11 years. And I've been loving it. It's so great. It's just beautiful. At night, I'm like, oh, there's a chill in the air. Good to see you, chill. It's just so much fun. Yeah. Okay. Second thing, oh, it has to do with summer. The second thing is that in my parents' house, they have a pool, and we are staying very close to my parents, and so we've been swimming almost every day, and it is so much fun to see my 5-year-old and my 3-year-old jump in and I don't know, learn how to swim and swim with their cousins and swim with my parents, their grandparents. It's just so much fun. Swimming was a huge part of my childhood at the house that my parents are at. That's the house that I grew up in. Well, you're getting a lot of backstory here. So I grew up in a house. It was a very modest house. It had a pool, and the pool was a huge part of my childhood. And so my parents are still living there, and now my kids are swimming in the pool that I grew up in. And that is cheering me up and bringing me a lot of joy, and it's just been wonderful to create those memories and to just hold them dear, you know? Okay, I was consulting my list to think about what I was going to talk about next. I didn't do a lot of prepping for this video. Not that I do a lot of prepping for any video, but this is very off the cuff and a little bit rambly. So the next thing is talking about books. In my books and life tag, I mentioned that I talk about books with pretty much anyone, and my family is no exception. They know that I love books, they know that I talk about books, they know that that is what I love, and so they indulge me. And you know, talking about books with other people brings me a lot of joy. That's why I'm on here. YouTube is also cheering me up right now, but talking with my folks and my siblings about books and their spouses is just fantastic. It fills my heart in a way that very few things do. Talking and chatting and going on and on about books and listening to other people talk about books. So yeah, that's been wonderful, talking books. Speaking of books, I actually finished one. So a quick check-in is that I finished Jane Austen's Persuasion, and this was really, really good. I really enjoyed this. I wanted to make sure that for Jane Austen July, I read Jane Austen's book first rather than books about Jane Austen, because I knew that we were going to spend a lot of time visiting and that I probably wouldn't have as much time to read. And so I dug into Persuasion first, and oh my goodness, it was lovely. Anne, the main character, is phenomenal and lovable, and her long lost love, Captain Wentworth, is something else. I really enjoyed him. I really enjoyed the characters. I really enjoyed the story, and I really enjoyed learning more about the provincial life in England, which is really fascinating. Actually, I learned about it less in this book and more about the provincial life, rather, in Jane Austen, A Life by Claire Tomalin. I am a little more than halfway through this read, and I'm really, really enjoying it. Claire Tomalin has a gift of really pulling you into the time period for which she is writing about, or for which she is writing. So I feel like I am living in the 1800s. I feel like I'm living in 1800 and experiencing life at that time, and the gatherings and the entertainment and the food and all of that. It's really got a lot of texture, the book does, and it has a lot of notes, and I really just get a sense of what life is like in England during Jane Austen's life, and that is lovely because it helps me understand the context of her life and the context of her novel a little bit more. So yeah, so anyways, these have been really wonderful. This is really some of the only reading I've done on the trip, and so yeah, it's been really great. And Jane Austen July has been really fun so far. I've been really enjoying watching Jane Austen videos, among other things. Okay, oh, again, on the book train. Okay, so one thing that I've been really, really enjoying is buying used books. Yeah, used books are so much fun. I feel like I'm always digging in a treasure trove, and I cannot wait to see what I'll come up with. So I have been buying a lot of books. I did a haul recently, my first haul on the channel, and I talked about how much I spent on books and what I picked up and my plan for those books going forward. Loose plan. Mostly I just showed you the books, let's just be real. And yeah, and so, but anyways, book buying has been a lot of fun. I think in South Carolina, in my area specifically, there are 2 used bookstores. Used bookstores are just a lot of fun, especially when they are new to me and the inventory is new to me, and just a lot of fun to dig through. And so I've just been really getting out my kicks for used book buying here on vacation right now, and that's been really cheering me up and just bringing me a lot of joy. It's been a lot of fun. Okay, so I really just have 2 more things to talk about, one of which is that here on vacation, as one always does when you're thinking about packing, I'm always thinking about what to pack, and someone just walked by and I was like, oh gosh, are they gonna see me? Anyways, so what to bring and what I'm gonna use, and space in my luggage versus what I'm actually gonna wear or whatever. And I chose to bring these shoes right here. And surprisingly, they go with just about everything, and they've been a lot of fun. I bought them used on an online consignment shop, and I've been wearing them all the time, and they go with everything. I'm not very tall, I'm actually 5'2", and so I feel like they give me a little height, and because of the color, they're nude, let me bring them back. Because they're a nude color, they actually make my legs, I think, look a little bit longer, which is always nice, especially when you're not very tall to begin with. yeah, I'm always trying to get a little height on me. And summertime is hard because most of the time we run around in, or at least I run around in flip-flops and waterproof shoes, you know, sandals, because I'm just walking around in sprinklers or around the pool. Anyways, so these have been wonderful. I feel like they're the perfect casual yet dressy date nighty shoe, but also could be worn to a family gathering. Yeah. So yeah, those shoes I've been really, really loving, and I'm so glad that I brought them. Actually, I only brought 3 pairs of shoes, and which is good for me, by the way, and I've only worn 2 out of the 3 pairs. And the final thing, which is definitely worth mentioning, but if you, well, the second to the last thing I should say, but if you know you've made it this far in the video, it's going to be of no surprise, but visiting with family has been incredible. I moved away from California over a decade ago, and visiting with family has been intermittent and you know, as one does. We live on opposite coasts, my family and I, and so visiting with them has been amazing on this trip, and watching my kids interact with their cousins and grandparents. Actually, so I have 5 siblings, and 4 out of 5 of my siblings are in town right now. The last time all 6 of us were together was actually about 5 years ago. So we're overdue to all come together. I have seen all of my siblings in those 5 years, but we just all haven't been together. So having 5 out of 6 of us together is amazing and wonderful, and being able to hug everybody. Gosh, okay, I gotta stop. I will start crying because I will tear up. But hugging everybody and seeing them, especially after the year of COVID and everything, just being here and seeing everybody has been really amazing, and really just filled me up so much. And the final thing has been YouTube. Being here in California is great, and YouTube has been amazing. I have gotten so much love and support on my channel and my videos that it has been overwhelming. It's been amazing, and it definitely has been a motivator to keep going and keep making videos and keep being part of the community. And I want to thank you all for that. For watching the videos, for spending time with me, and for being amazingly supportive. So yeah, so thank you all for being here and for making this experience wonderful. So I have to go. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye guys.